Nathan Beats.
What's up, guys? This your boy, Mr. I240. I'm back with another video today. Hey guys, I told y'all I was gonna do what I said what I did. I did, and I went to the Memphis Rationing show. I saw Kalisto yesterday. I did what I said. I wasn't gonna give y'all a result, but I did give y'all a little footage and pictures on the last episode. So go check that Memphis Rationing out. It's a short little mini movie, whatever you want to call it. It's like 7 minutes long. So I did it exactly. I needed that day so I can step up my grind and not only for y'all but myself personally. You know what I'm saying? And plus it's been a lot going on in my life, so I just needed that day to myself. And so for myself, you know what I'm saying? I mean, what I said, I'm gonna get that back though. She know what I'm talking. Well, they know what I'm talking to. I'm gonna get that back though. For real. So everything gonna be alright. You know. So there was just something for me I wanted to do. You know, no parents, nobody called, nobody. There was just a personal day for myself, and it felt good. And I ain't no friend. So y'all check that comment, y'all check that joint out. But before we get started, I gotta thank the man above, Lord Jesus Christ. If it weren't for him, won't be no me, won't be no y'all, won't be no page. You feel me? But if you're new, comment, subscribe, hit that notification button. But y'all, I got a banger today, you know what I'm saying? So I call this the makeup episode for the episode that was kind of trash. It will be a weekly episode, but it was ass because I ain't edit and my man wasn't in it. So I was gonna say this for like the 5,000 subscribers, but I said, you know what? I'm gonna give y'all a banger, bro. So we're gonna talk about, of course, the best in the world, CM Punk. But except we're gonna talk about his long 434 days title run. You know what I'm saying? Because you gotta remember, like, shoot, there was a nice title run, you know what I'm saying? So like I said, if you're new to the page, comment, subscribe, hit that notification button. Let's get into it. So we all know CM Punk was champion for 434 days. But let's backspin a little bit. What led up to the 34 days? So you gotta remember, he had the pipe bomb earlier that year. In was it June or July? I think it was July. Where he cost Cena the match against R-Truth. And Phil, well, as he said, Philip wanted to expose his true feelings of how he felt about the company and the direction it was going. Where he exposed Vince, Triple H. He didn't like the fact that The Rock was coming back to get that main event spot. The Rock been gone for 7 years. Some, I agree with him. He didn't. But then you all know they're going to say it was a business move. What was best for business? Even sent cheap shots at Triple H and Stephanie. Then, of course, you remember the big match in his hometown, Money in the Bank. Phil got the dub after Vince was trying to screw him in a classic match. Even tried to get Del Rio to cash it on him. Then, of course, we had the SummerSlam match. Title for title. Now, this is where everybody thought CM Punk was gone. But no, he came back. This after Cena had beat Ray for the duplicate title. Because, you know, Ray had won, beat The Miz, became champion, and then they gave Cena a rematch on Raw. Then, of course, they had the match. Controversy went down. Back and forth action. It was technical wrestling in between. But then, CM Punk threw Cena to the ropes. Knee to the face. GTS. But Triple H counted the controversy 3. And it was on the ropes. His foot was on the ropes. Then, of course, he got screwed after the match. Kevin Nash powerbomb CM Punk. Del Rio cashed in. Then he played, Del Rio mind games, but he finally got the belt back at Survivor Series and became the champion. And then that's when the 434 days began. Well, you gotta remember, he had classic matches in between. TLC match with Miz, Alberto Del Rio. The controversy with Ryback. You know what I'm saying? And he beat Cena at the Night of Champions. Not this past champion. No. And then, of course, he had what's another match he had? Oh, before he had the classic match with Daniel Bryan at No Way Out. No, I think Kane was in that match too. I think it was a triple threat. I think it was Over the Limit. They had the one-on-one match. I think my boy had a bunch of great matches, beating Dolph Ziggler, everybody. You know what I'm saying? But as I see on this website right here, they say that they got 10 perfect matches. 10 great matches he had during this tight championship reign. So let's see what this y'all talking about. Because that championship reign was luxurious. Of course, we know he lost to The Rock in controversial fashion. And now that I look back at the match, Punk should have never lost that title. Punk should have been going to WrestleMania and lost at that point. But he should have never lost that Royal Rumble. Hell, even the second match at Elimination Chamber was kind of like, all right, bro, whatever. I think Punk said he wanted to push a triple threat match. Cause they were doing Rock and Cena 2. And Punk wanted to put himself in the match. That would have been way much better than Rock and Cena 2 because, let's be real, bro, we all knew John Cena was going to win. But during that championship reign, let's see some of the best matches that he had. Well, I can't see, but you know what I mean. Let's see what he's talking about. Oh, okay. They got this number right here, number 10. This is one of his first championship defenses, an Elimination Chamber. It was against Jericho. That was the year I think Jericho had came back. One of his numerous returns, he came back. So it was against Jericho, his good friend Kofi Kingston, The Miz, R-Truth, and Dolph Ziggler, who he defeated at that previous month at the Royal Rumble. So you got to think about it. CM Punk was supposed to fend off 500 competitors in the confines of the demonic steel, where his opponents was who we just said. Now, give it like the website said. Now that I think about it, it wasn't star-studded, but it was nice to have new guys in the mix. You know what I'm saying? And of course, the big performance was Punk and Jericho. They accounted for their elimination of match. Jericho was never eliminated, but he fell out of the chamber, which led him being uncontinued. So there was The Miz, who you gotta think about, Miz and Punk had their own heat before he came back. Punk won the match with the GTS. Jericho was eliminated from the match. Punk retained, and of course I think this would lead to, 2020, this would lead to, I'm trying to see, was Jericho? Y'all let me know in the comments. Was Jericho versus Punk in 2012? Because I remember in 2013, it was, because Jericho had faced whatever that boy name, Fandango. Yeah, so they was kind of building up towards Jericho versus Punk anyway. So they wanted to save it, which was a good feud, you know what I'm saying? Because he defeated Jericho around that time at Extreme Rules. That's when they had the controversy, alcohol stuff like that, because Punk's family got a history of it, and they used that in the storyline. Okay. Then of course, number 9, CM Punk versus Ryback. on Raw. Now this one Punk was hurt during the time because they was supposed to have a match at TLC, but Punk was injured. You know what I'm saying? And y'all had to remember they had to give us that whack finish in Hell in a Cell just to protect Ryback winning streak. Well, they didn't protect it because he lost, but the fashion was kind of whack. Where, you know, at Hell in a Cell, Brad Maddox low blowed Ryback, and then CM Punk got the win. Because, you know, at the time, they just threw Ryback in the fishes because Cena was hurt. You know what I'm saying? They were like, well, let's give a young dude a chance. And they gave him a chance, and, you know, Punk and CM Punk had heat because Punk felt like Ryback was hurting him. And, yeah, you know, if y'all know, if you know, you know. You know what I'm saying? Then, of course, what led to the TLC match was they had a triple threat match at Survivor Series, classic one, Cena, Ryback, and CM Punk. Then, of course, this when the boys debuted, and wham, took Ryback out, and Punk retained his title. You know what I'm saying? So, the TLC match on Raw. So, Ryback put CM Punk through a table and began to climb the ladder. He was finna grab the championship. Wrong! The lights go out. Who is the boy? I can't think of the goddamn. The Hounds of Justice cost him the championship again. They pulled him off the ladder, and they put Ryback through the table. No, they put Ryback through the table onto the steel steps, which allowed CM Punk to win the championship. So this was around the time they were going to start building up with, of course, him and The Rock. They had a controversial promo, Box with God and stuff like that. That's when the Shield came out, gave The Rock the 2-piece and a biscuit. Because they want to make Ryback versus The Rock. I'm sorry, I'm just being real. They want to make Ryback versus The Rock. I'm sorry, bro. You know what I'm saying? And then what happened? You know what I'm saying? So, then of course, the 2012 match, CM Punk versus Dolph Ziggler. It was a classic match. Now, leading to the match, like they said, Dolph Ziggler was getting under his skin. But the company and the fans probably didn't view Dolph Ziggler as a true threat to take the title from Punk 2 months earlier. But with the presence of John Laurinaitis, when CM Punk and John Laurinaitis had beef, it was the system versus the people. You know what I'm saying? CM Punk was the voice of the voiceless. He was moving to his own drum. So, you know, John Laurinaitis and CM Punk from, I guess, the summertime, like, you know, fall time for no vid, that they went head to head. You had the people power versus the streets. So Dolph Ziggler had a chance because I think they added a special guest referee. Was it a special guest referee? I don't remember, but yeah, Laurinaitis was the special guest referee, and plus Laurinaitis spent most of during the match, he spent most of the match outside the ring as an extra official, but he would come into play at later stages. The vast majority bout went off without a hitch. It featured plenty of great grappling from both fans. It did. No cap. So Punk and Ziggler managed to pretty much any time step in the ring, no matter who they face. It shouldn't have been a surprise why the match was good. But Punk later on grabbed the Anaconda Vice in the match. The official was knocked out, and Laurinaitis was attending to him. Punk then rolled up Ziggler, but nobody was present to make the count. He followed up with a GTS, and it once again went ignored by John Laurinaitis. But Punk hit one more to win the match. He did. It was a good match. But I guess from what they said, John Laurinaitis in the match was kind of like annoying. I can see that because that match didn't need no special guest referee, but they need a good storyline. Then of course the match I just got through talking about: John Cena, Ryback, CM Punk, John Cena, right back. Well, the match speaks for itself. You know, the build-up was great. You know, this when I think Cena had just came back from injury and stuff like that. And then y'all remember the famous scene where Ryback and John Cena, was it? I think it was Punk. No, it was Ryback, Cena, Punk on the outside, tugging for the belt. Everybody thought it was over for Punk. I did too. So let's get into this part right here. They did have good chemistry. That match was surprisingly good. You know what I'm saying? But let's see. Ryback controlled most of the match until Cena and Punk decided to team up, put their differences to the side. They did a double suplex, put Ryback through the table. Only Punk and Cena battle. Of course, Punk and Cena's always impressive. Ryback eventually recovered and reclaimed his dominance in the match. He hit Punk with the shell shock. CM Punk rolled out the ring. He did the same thing to Cena. He was finna get the dub. Wrong! The Shield came in, made their debut, shocked the world. Triple powerbomb Ryback. Punk put Cena back in the ring. 1, 2, 3. So this was around the time people was wondering, was Punk paying the Shield? You know what I'm saying? So you gotta think about it. Then of course they had the classic match in Night of Champions. This one, Punk had turned heel. First turned heel, because you gotta remember he had turned heel on that July episode when he clotheslined The Rock. When John Cena failed to cash in, you know what I'm saying? Which says right here, which was run by the Big Show. Then of course Punk took out The Rock. Because this was The Rock the week before they claimed The Rock had claimed he was gonna face the winner at the Royal Rumble in 2013. So that had led to the match, the triple threat match at SummerSlam between Punk, Cena, and Big Show, which Punk escaped again. But John Cena had one more match with Punk at the Night of Champions. I think this one CM Punk had GTS. I think John Cena had a Falls Count Anywhere match with Del Rio, and he had GTS him on the card. So they had a lot of back and forth action, just like they did. A lot of false finishes they did. So at one point, Cena did executed a German suplex off the ropes for the 3 count, but he was initially ruled the winner, but the decision was overturned. They ruled that Cena and Punk shoulders was on the mat, but then it was a draw. So, damn, they did. Damn, I forgot about that. And it was a good ass match. Then, of course, the controversy. The Rock, CM Punk. Now, it was a good match, you know what I'm saying? Let's be real. Punk was getting the best of The Rock on the mic. Let's just be real, bro. No cap. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Punk was in his bag. You know what I'm saying? So, CM Punk did control. Now, CM Punk did control the pace of the match. You know what I'm saying? The Rock didn't seem out of place, but he struggled with terms of stamina at WrestleMania, so he appeared much better around this time. Okay, he did. Yeah, Rock did look slow in that Cena match. So, many contended that The Rock looked gassed 10 minutes into the match. But, I don't think so. The Rock was pretty, but there we go. So Punk did eventually win the match due to interference, thanks to the Shield. But This is when Vince is finna strip him, because Vince said in promos before if the shit interfere in this match, I'm stripping you for the WWE title. So Vince was finna strip him. The Rock said, catching his breath, I do it. And that's when the Rock hit him with the spine buster, people's elbow, and the Rock became champion after 9 years. You know, so that's I think after a while, I think that we all found out that CM Punk was playing the Shield and all that. Then of course you got the WrestleMania match with Chris Jericho. Oh man, that's beautiful. So the rivalry with the guys did start at Royal Rumble, ended at Extreme Rules. Cause we all know Chris Jericho has always considered himself the best in the world. And there was another guy considering himself the best in the world. And he was the best in the world because he was WWE champion. So what led to the match was Jericho won the #1 contender battle royal to earn his shot at CM Punk at WrestleMania, which led to a classic match. You know, I can see Jericho had shared the spotlight with Triple H versus Undertaker and John Cena versus The Rock. So it was difficult to steal the show. To be honest with you, they stole the show. I mean, don't get me wrong, Triple H versus Undertaker at Hell in a Cell, that was dope. But Rock and Cena 2 was Rock and Cena 1 was great. You know what I'm saying? But I just feel like Jericho and them had the best match. And of course, they deliver. So here you go. So things had reached a critical point when Jericho locked in the walls of Jericho. But CM Punk reversed it, hitting him with the Anaconda Vice. So he was forced to tap out. Now it wasn't match of the year, but it was match of the night. And they had a great feud that ended it like I said, elimination Extreme Rules, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, Punk title reign was kind of good, you know what I'm saying? Then of course we had Money in the Bank with Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan had been mistreating his girlfriend AJ Lee that year, who eventually seduced CM Punk. Bryan got jealous and wanted AJ to himself. So a love triangle developed between the three. So they settled the score in a no DQ match with special guest referee AJ Lee. They had technical wrestling, brawling outside. Both men got back in the ring. AJ was on the apron, but Bryan pushed Punk into her. She fell into the floor. That seemed to render her unable to continue, but she returned later and sent the replacement referee out of the way. Things got interesting. There are weapons such as steel chairs, kendo sticks into the match. Both men and Cap on the ground. AJ put a chair in the middle of the ring, smirked as Punk and Bryan battled for it. She was being that Jezebel, pimping both guys in the remainder of the match, and seemed amused that they were fighting for her love. When one of them inflicted rated pain, she became concerned when Punk belly to back suplex Bryan through a table to pick up the win. She did hit the match. No cap. Then we got the second to last match. So after a great encounter at WrestleMania, they did it again in Extreme Rules. Jericho wanted to prove Punk that he was the better wrestler. Even brought up many demons during the match. He did. He accused Punk's father of being an alcoholic, his sister of being a drug addict, and CM Punk's mother birthing him and his sister out of wedlock. He even poured alcohol on CM Punk. Jericho said Punk was destined to drink, although that he had broken Punk's spirit the WWE champion never wavered heading into the match at Extreme Rules. The particular match was much hard-hitting bout in Chicago street fight in Punk hometown. Damn, my friend, right? They do love. Yeah. So, Punk family was in the front row. Jericho taunted CM Punk's sister at one point and received a slap for his troubles. It was a good mixed reaction, hardcore, but a little comedy into it. I remember Jericho had Punk in the walls of Jericho only to get sprayed with a fire extinguisher. Then Jericho followed it up by breaking out of the Anaconda bite with a kendo stick. But Punk ultimately picked up the dub, sending Jericho the exposed turnbuckle and executing the GTS. Yeah, the wrestling psychology at that time was crazy. It was amazing. You know what I'm saying? And of course, I told y'all, Over the Limit with Daniel Bryan, #1. So, Bryan at this time earned his original title shot. I was surprised they got a triple threat match with him and Kane versus Daniel Bryan. That was a good match around that time, dude. Good stuff. But Daniel Bryan had earned his title shot by beat the clock. Daniel Bryan wanted to prove that he was the better wrestler. And they had a back and forth match at Over the Limit with CM Punk won. Because they were the two best wrestlers, skillful wrestlers at the time. So here it is. Bryan had Punk in the yes lock, which Punk escaped. Bryan even for shaming to pass out from it at Extreme Rules. So Punk was in dire straits, to say at least. But he reversed the momentum, hit him with a pinning combination that earned Punk the victory. Just after the referee hit the mat for the 3 count, Punk tapped out. Since the count had already been made, Punk got the win, but tapping afterward made Bryan look strong and ultimately led to more matches between the two, which was their triple threat match. But my boy did have a nice title reign where he defeated some of the best. You know what I'm saying? And those are some of the 10 matches they were claiming it was good, and I couldn't disagree with him. Where he defeated Jericho, Ziggler, Kane, Big Show, Del Rio, Miz. So he held that belt for almost a year and a half. And we all know how he lost to The Rock, and I mentioned it. But y'all, hey, with that being said, like I said, I'm going to continue to give y'all more content. I'm going to continue to go to these shows. Everything's going to be all right. I'm going to get that back. But I'm going to get back. But I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We almost at 900. We was at 895, but we had 3 people unsubscribed, which is okay. That's cool. Whatever. But we almost at that 900 subscriber episode, which will be our dog, Kofi Kingston, Kofi Mania. So, with that being said, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And most definitely, y'all keep dog first. I'm out.
Nathan Beats.